All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to our next topic here, shall we? Paris, what do you got up next?
Yeah, so with it being July, we are now officially into the second half of 2024. It's gone by so fast.
Yeah.
The first half of the year has certainly had some bumps, but a number of really good movies have come out along the way. So, John, what would you say are the best movies of 2024 so far?
All right. I had somebody write into me last week saying, we're getting close to the midpoint of the year. We're now at it and just past it. And what would I think are the best films of the year? All right. I gave this some thought. And the first thing I decided was that I'm going to put together a little list, short list. I'm going to give you 5. What I think are the 5 best movies so far this year. But a couple of caveats. Number 1, they've got to be actual theatrically released movies. And by theatrically released, I don't mean on 2 screens in Provence, France. I mean, these are movies, has to be movies that anybody could have gone to see in the country that wanted to go see them, right? So I will not count Je vais sans contre chafon that played on 1 screen in, the Ukraine.
Will you include at least one at the end of a streaming only release? Do you have any?
No.
You don't?
No, I have not.
You haven't seen anything?
Well, I take that back. There are a couple of good streamers I've seen. Let's start. Let's add that at the end.
Someone tell me Ray has something in mind.
I do.
Okay, so we'll get to that in a second. So we are going to talk about what I believe are the 5. Now, these are in no particular order, except for the first one. And this is anticlimactic. You guys know what I'm going to say. The best film of the year so far is Dune 2. It is the best film of the last 10 years. Yeah, I say that and I stand by that. It is the best motion picture of the last 10 years. You've already heard me wax poetic about this movie many, many, many times. You don't need to hear me go on and on about it. So Dune 2, best movie of the year. All right, the next 4 that I have in my top 5 of the year are not in any order, okay? So this next one is not number 2. The rest of the 4 are not in any order. They are Zendaya Does a Threesome, also known as Challengers.
Yeah.
This was not the movie I thought it was going to be. Now, I'm not going to say that the marketing was deceptive. No, I mean, the movie was there. You could see it in the market, but I really kind of felt like the movie was going to be totally different in tone. So it wasn't the movie that I thought it was going to be, but I still loved it. I thought it was really solid. And again, Zendaya has gone on to prove more and more and more. Because I admit, when she first started, I thought, they're just getting a pretty famous girl and giving her acting roles. She continues to prove again and again and again she's for real. I think this might be the best performance I've ever seen out of her. I mean, the story keeps you going right to the end. I really enjoyed Challengers, so Challengers makes my list. All right. Now on to the third film on my list. Furiosa. It flopped? Yes. Don't care. Did I think this was a bad idea to make into a movie? Yes, I did. Doesn't matter. I saw it and I loved it. I don't think it's quite as good as Mad Max Fury Road, but I thought the movie was astonishing. Like, absolutely astonishing. I absolutely loved it. It's unfortunate. I mean, it really shouldn't surprise us that, first of all, Mad Max Fury Road, a lot of us remember it being a big hit. It wasn't.
Was it not?
No.
It didn't do well.
No, it made about the same amount of money as Black Adam.
Yeah, it was like 400 something million.
Yeah, under 400.
Yeah.
It didn't even crack 400 million. And so here we are 55 years later, and it's not the same cast to a movie that not a lot of people saw in the first place. So it completely flopped. But Anya Taylor-Joy continues to prove that right now, she's it. She rules this town right now. She's incredible in it. Chris Hemsworth was fabulous in this. Love this movie. So Furiosa makes my list of my top 5 of the year. All right. Next film that makes my top 5 of the year. Another big flop. Fall Guy. I love this film. Now, my big criticism about Fall Guy was it was too long. It was too long for a movie of this nature. It should have sliced out about 15 minutes. Would have been even tighter. But the action was fantastic. It was a love letter to stunts. But then at its core roots of just the rom-comness of it, Emily Blunt and Ryan Gosling together had fabulous chemistry. And I just found myself grinning from ear to ear through most of the movie. I know the movie wasn't for everybody, but I don't give a shit. This isn't everybody's show. It's mine. And this movie makes my top 5 of 2024 so far. We want to thank a sponsor of today's episode, BetterHelp. You know, guys, it's one of the most unfortunate human tendencies that we have to try to compare our life to others. And social media plays a big part of that. Comparison is like the thief of joy, and it's easy to envy other people's lives because on the surface, it might look like they have it all together on their Instagram or YouTube, but in reality, they probably don't. Therapy can help you focus on what you want instead of what others have, so you can start living your best life. Give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. All you have to do is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. So get it off your chest with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/Campea today and get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Campea. All right. The 5th movie. This was tough because I told myself I was going to make 5. There's a few other films I was, debating with myself to put in there, but I put into the top 5 of the year so far, halfway through, Inside Out 2. I mean, I didn't imagine. Now, I've never lost faith in Pixar, but I didn't imagine you could do a sequel. Even though they did it with Toy Story, but I didn't really think they could do a sequel that would come close to the emotional satisfaction that the first Inside Out gave us. This is a beautiful film, like an absolutely beautiful film that had me feeling. And while, the end of Inside Out 1, as Riley comes home after her attempted runaway, and they finally, in her emotions, sadness finally steps up and they realize she needs to feel this and hits sadness and she breaks down and cries. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm feeling tears coming on right now. I'm feeling like I'm about to cry. Thinking about that scene, I wept. Like I wept at that scene when like the end. And while Inside Out 2 doesn't quite have that high of a crescendo, I felt that as well. Without giving anything away, but as anxiety is going through anxiety's thing and the visual representation of anxiety near the end of the film was like a perfect visual imagery for how we feel when anxiety hits us. And it just made me feel, and I laughed, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful film that I completely adored. So to sum up again, my top 5 films of the year so far. Remember, we're talking about wide release, theatrical films so far this year. I put it as Inside Out 2 in no particular order, Fall Guy, Furiosa, Challengers, and the best movie of the year so far is Dune. So, Ray, you would want to throw in 1 or 2 streaming movies in there?
Oh yeah, I just wanted to say I really liked Ultraman Rising on Netflix, and also one you didn't mention, Barry, is Robot Dreams. I really like that movie. It's very nostalgic, as in the setting. Wow, both of them are animated that I brought up, which is crazy to me because I'm not too big on animation, but I will watch properties that I like.
What did I just see on Netflix recently that I actually thought was really quite good? There was Hitman with Glenn Powell.
Right, you mentioned that one.
That was good. It wouldn't have made my top 5, but there was one I saw before that on Netflix that I was like, oh my God. Then I saw Hitman. I'm like, that's 2 in a row from Netflix. Which one was it?
You know what?
Under Paris I really liked.
Oh, okay.
I loved Under Paris. Not everybody did, and I don't care. I think it's the best shark movie we've had since Jaws films.
Do you have any honorable mentions like Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes?
That's exactly one that would be my honorable mention. I thought Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes was wonderful.
And it looks like Bike Riders is getting some good ratings, but none of us seen it yet.
I saw it.
I finally saw it.
Oh, okay. You guys see it.
Not as good as I was hoping. I mean, I liked it. I enjoyed it, but it's not going to end up on my top 10 films of the year list probably, but I liked it. It was good.
Are you also saving Garfield for that list later on?
Garfield.
I like Garfield.
If later this year I do a list of my favorite animated films with cats, Garfield
on
will
there.
make my list.
It'll be on there.
It'll be up there. It'll
Okay.
It's not Garfield wasn't even the best cat in a movie this year. That was the cat from Quiet
Quiet
Place.
Place.
Cat, that was the best. Any movies you guys would add to
I mean,
the list, or that you
someone said it here too. They said technically it was a 23 movie, and it won, or at least it was nominated for the Academy Award as Perfect Days, but it released.
Yeah,
here
that
in
was it was a
24, I
2023
think.
movie, yeah.
So if it released here in 24, maybe I would have popped it on there, but I would have probably. I think I liked Bike Riders more than you. So I think as much as I liked,
Which one would you bump?
why can't Fall Guy
Fall Guy?
would be like 6, and Bike Riders would be where Fall Guy is. That's it.
You
It's
got
still
any
in the top
stand out
10.
for you, Paris?
I'm trying to like think. I'm seeing Mean Girls behind you, and I know that's not on my list. I was really worried that you're gonna say that. I mean, I really like the Fall Guy. I don't know if it'll be in my top 5. I feel like there's streaming movies that I'm just not thinking of right now.
Sure,
I know
yeah.
I've watched a lot of movies streaming, and I just can't think of them. I was trying to look it up quickly.
You know what? Cord Cutter Cam just mentioned a film that I did contemplate because I mean I was late to this movie, but I really enjoyed it. Abigail. I liked
That's a
Abigail.
sleeper right there.
Yeah.
That's what you would consider a sleeper.
Now,
Monkey Man. That's one I
okay.
love.
you know what?
I love Monkey
So
Man.
many people loved Monkey Man,
Yeah.
and I didn't like it.
Oh,
And I love Dev Patel, and
man.
so I wanted to like it. So you know what? I also should,
Action scenes.
while we're here, I might as well throw in what I think are like the worst movies.
Okay, go.
All right, so these are in no particular order, and I'm only going to mention 4.
Only 4.
Only mention 4. Only going to mention 4. Despite the fact that Ray warned me off it, The Strangers Chapter 1. Wah, wah.
I freaking
That
don't-
movie was so bad.
I get so angry when you even say that name.
Just even saying it
The
makes you angry.
people in that movie were so dumb.
So dumb.
I even said they were dumb. Me.
Yeah.
I even thought they were dumb. And I'm the dumbest. So come on. Come on. You can't be dumber than me.
The Strangers Chapter 1. Next was a movie I was legitimately excited about. They did a presentation for it at CinemaCon, and I really liked what I saw. It's a legacy director, M. Night's daughter, The Watchers.
Ooh,
Yeah.
How good did that look at CinemaCon?
it was confusing, but I was interested.
Yeah, like it was a little like, what's going on here? And I was into it and all that kind of
So
stuff.
you seen
And I'm
that
like,
movie? You watched it?
yeah, fairies.
Oh,
It's, and you know what? I
Okay,
say
let's
that. I say that like fairies. If they had shown me a 2-page synopsis of the movie, I would have gone, yeah, there's the bones here to make something really kind of cool, but it really did not end up being very good at all. The third one I'll mention is another film I was so hyped for because it's got my boy Henry
Henry.
Oh yeah.
Argyle.
And it's probably the worst thing on Apple TV Plus. Every time I see that it's on Apple TV Plus, I'm like, how could you, Apple?
I didn't even finish it.
It was so bad, and I absolutely adore everybody involved in that film.
Oh yeah, what a cast.
Right? So you got Bryce Dallas Howard, who I adore. You obviously got my boy Henry. John Cena's in there. I get a huge kick out of John Cena. You got Moon Boy, Academy Award winner
Sam Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell in there. I love everybody involved with that. I was so hyped for this movie, and it's just so bad.
You know what it sounds like? Gangsta Squad. Remember that? With
It
the
was like
all-star-
Gangster Squad all
all-star
over again.
cast and then nothing. Okay.
So like Argyle. So none of those are in any particular order, just bad, except for this one.
Oh, the final.
The final. The King.
Mr. Mrs. Bad Movie of 2024
That's right.
so far goes to
Madam Web.
Oh,
I even
obviously.
forgot that came out this year.
Like I tried so hard to push it out of my memory.
yeah, I want to forget that it came out.
And I'm
What
not
a
trying to beat a
waste.
dead horse because I even did. Remember this a few weeks ago? I decided to watch it again because Anne hadn't seen it yet.
Oh yeah,
And
I
I'm
was
like,
there,
you know
too.
what?
How is that?
maybe it's just it wasn't as bad as I was thinking. Let's watch it again.
Did it help?
The
second time
alcohol
around?
didn't even help that night.
Oh my god.
I had a little alky that night, and I was like, "What the heck?"
It makes it funnier though. I
No,
feel
it made me
makes
sober actually.
It made me sober.
Just a
I've
buzzkill.
been clean ever since.
Sober.
Been clean ever since that night.
No more drinking.
No more
Oh
drinking.
my
No more
gosh,
drugs.
That was really bad.
Now, just like we did with the best movies of the year, want to mention some honorable mentions from the world of streaming? Let's do that. I only got one to mention, but it's really two. Rebel, fuck you.
Oh,
Oh,
I completely forgot.
and again, I forgot. I mean, because prior to Rebel Moon, and I feel the need to, for anybody who's new is joining us, you have to understand I am a Zack Snyder fan. There's only ever been what prior to Rebel Moon, there's only ever been one Zack Snyder film that I didn't like, and that was Sucker Punch. Other than that, I even got a big kick out of Army of the Dead. Not everybody loved it. I had a lot of fun with it. I really like Zack Snyder's movies, other than Sucker Punch. Rebel Moon is so unspeakably bad. I'll say this. It might be as bad as Madam Web.
Oh.
And I know them's is fighting words. But it may actually be as bad or in some ways it's worse than Madam Web.
Oh,
To be
wow.
fair, though, we have to compare the two director cuts to Madam Web's director cut.
That's right. We haven't seen the Zack
No.
Snyder director cut
And then compare it to Madam Web's director cut when that comes out. So, yeah, so we got to do
of
that.
Rebel Fuck You Moon. Yes. So there's that. Was there any other on streaming?
Atlas. I don't know. I don't know why.
I
Jennifer
forgot
Lopez. I need to finish that
Visually
one.
beautiful.
Oh no, it looked.
Yeah.
It actually looked top notch.
Yeah.
I would say the same thing about Rebel Moon.
Very good.
Look-wise and
Well-
like effects-wise, some of it was
Oh, no,
really cool.
man. There was some effects that were janky.
Some of the effects was really cool.
Some of the effects were really good, but a lot of the times it didn't even look like they were standing in front of a green screen.
Yeah.
It looked like they were standing in front of an old school Broadway backdrop painting.
Yeah.
It's like, am I? But no, you're right. Some of the stuff did look really good, but Atlas was really bad. That was another one.
Horrible.
Oh my God! Seeking God's will in the live chat. I forgot this was another. I think it was from
Ricky
this year.
Stenicki.
Ricky Stenicki.
Oh, you guys were so hyped for that.
I was so excited. I thought the
It looked
trailers were
promising.
great.
It looked
The
promising.
trailers were great. I love Zac Efron.
John Cena.
John Cena doing his thing in there. The trailers I thought were straight up fire. I thought the trailers looked so good. I was so psyched for that movie.
I'm embarrassed to say I liked it. It was funny to me. I mean, it's what I
Well,
expected.
there you go. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the important thing. It's if you found it funny.
Smiling the whole time.
Aw.
It had its moments.
Yeah.
It had its moments, but man, I wanted to love Ricky Stenicki's. Oh, I wanted to love that movie so much.
What's the well? As soon as we get done, what do you think about the next half of the year? What do you think? Do you expect good things coming up?
I
Yeah.
expect a lot of good things.
Is there one you're worried about but you're hyped about? Me is Twisters. That's in the real
Twisters.
news.
Well, I know
Twisters.
because I know you're really hyped for Twisters. You are really hyped for
But
Twisters.
man, I have a bad feeling. That's why I'm seeing it in 40x
Um,
to shake all the bad feelings out of me.
shake all the bad feelings out. One I am super stoked of, but a little nervous, is Joker Folie à Deux. Joker 2. Because while I think it's very creative, it is a risk introducing musical elements and stuff like that. There's a risk. I mean, but listen, we as movie fans are always asking our filmmakers, we want them to take big swings. We want them to take risks. But taking a risk means by definition that there is a possibility of some big failure. Like when you swing big, the biggest home run hitters are also the ones that strike out the most. So, Jonathan's our baseball guy. He can attest to that.
Yeah.
We swing big, you could miss big. And while I am very psyched for Joker 2, that is the one I got a little bit of apprehension for, because this director completely crushed it and created an all-time comedy classic when he made The Hangover. and then he made The Hangover 2.
Oh.
Am I saying that's what's going to happen with him with Joker and Joker 2? No, but I'm just saying they are taking a big swing. And if I had to say there was one for the second half of the year that I was super stoked about, but kind of worried about, it'll be Joker 2.
Oh.
So that'll be, but I mean, look, we also got
Alien Romulus.
I mean, Alien Romulus is one that I am low key, like super stoked for.
The one I'd say I'm excited for but worried about, which this wouldn't fall for you because I don't think you really care, but Beetlejuice because I care, because I want it to be good.
I care so
See,
much.
I'm not looking forward to that movie.
Did you like the original Beetlejuice?
I did, but I'm not one of those people. 'Cause
Yeah.
I got so many of my friends that are like, the original Beetlejuice to a lot of people is like the original Top Gun. Like, it's just like,
That's
is just
me.
so-
I'm that person.
I know
Yeah.
so many people like that. And I'm like, to me, I'm like, yeah, it was a good movie. I liked Beetlejuice, but I don't understand the hype for it. Although I gotta say, that CinemaCon presentation they did for Beetlejuice got me a little bit more psyched.
The studio's confident about it. That's
They
for
are
sure.
super confident
Yeah,
about
it was one of their headliners.
They have
We got
high
Jenna
belief in
Ortega.
that.
I feel like she was great as Wednesday. I feel like this role's made for her.
Oh yeah.
They bring it back with Nona. I'm really excited but worried. I'm worried about that.
Right. So I think that has the potential to
I wonder how Wild Robot will track.
Oh, I was
that-
about to. Hold on, John.
Wild Robot. I'm so excited for.
Hold on, John.
Raising the hand.
This is bad news for Wild Robot.
Okay.
Before Despicable Me 4, they played a longer trailer, and it actually got me not excited for the film. And I
Really?
can't explain why.
Is it the longer trailer that shows the other robots coming to try to get
No,
her?
this is a new. This like told like the whole story. It was long. It was a long trailer, and I just the mystery about it just left my body, and now it's kind of like.
Well, I know
don't
they played it at a recent animation film festival and got a standing ovation. So
Oh,
I'm
okay.
going to hold out hope for that.
Yeah.
And of course, the bigger ones for me too are obviously because I'm a huge Moana guy.
Right, I was just
so
looking at that.
Moana 2, very stoked about.
Mufasa.
Mufasa, I don't have the look. You got one of the best, most creative filmmakers in the world making this movie, and who's clearly very, very passionate about it. So I don't know whether to be excited about it or not yet. I am very curious about Mufasa. Very curious about it. Not super excited about it yet. But I mean, it's Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as Deadpool and Wolverine really kills
Yeah.
it,
Then you
it's
can
like,
get over that hurdle.
the whole year was good to me. The whole year would be good to me. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think are, like, say, the 5 best, and remember, we're putting asterisks on this, make it wide release films that were theatrical. What would you say are the 5 best films that we put out there? Jump down to the comment section below and let us know what you guys think. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.